What is the International Dateline? The International Dateline, IDL, is an internationally accepted demarcation of the surface of Earth, running between the South and North Poles and serving as the boundary between one calendar day and the next. It passes through the Pacific Ocean, roughly following the 180.0 degrees line of longitude. Crossing the dateline eastbound decreases the date by 1 day, while crossing the dateline westbound increases the date. In 1928, the term Universal Time or UT was introduced by the International Astronomical Union to refer to GMT or Greenwich Mean, which is the mean solar time at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, London, with the day starting at midnight. Until the 1950s, broadcast time signals were based on UT, and hence on the rotation of the Earth. In 1955, the cesium atomic clock was invented. An atomic clock is a clock that measures time by monitoring the resonant frequency of atoms. It is based on atoms having different energy levels. The System of International Atomic Time, TI, which is maintained by an ensemble of atomic clocks around the world, is the system of Coordinated Universal Time, or what is commonly referred to as UTC. This provided a form of timekeeping that was both more stable and more convenient than astronomical observations. So this new UT and corresponding UTC time was invented because man, or more specifically the United Kingdom, wanted convenience. Having someone go outside for quote, astronomical observations, or in other words the heavens, that was too much work for them. Therefore, we will create our own time, and it will start at midnight instead of sundown. Let's continue. Coordinated Universal Time or UTC does not change with a change of seasons. For example, local time on the east coast of the United States is 5 hours behind UTC during winter, but 4 hours behind while daylight saving is observed there. UTC is the primary time standard by which the world regulates clocks and time. It is within about 1 second of mean solar time, such as UT1, at 0 degrees longitude, and is not adjusted for daylight saving time. The coordination of time and frequency transmissions around the world began on the 1st of January 1960. Because of this, for the 2 hours between 10 o'clock and 11:59 Coordinated Universal Time each day, 3 different calendar dates are observed at the same time in different places on Earth. The first major cities to experience a new day are Auckland and Wellington, New Zealand. The areas that are the first to see the daylight of a new day vary by the season. Around the June solstice, the first area would be any place within the Kamchatka time zone that is far enough north to experience midnight sun on the given date. At the equinoxes, the first place to see daylight would be the uninhabited Millennium Island in Kiribati, which is the easternmost land located west of the IDL. Near the December solstice, the first places would be Antarctic research stations using New Zealand time during summer that experience midnight sun, such as the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station. The IDL does not extend into Antarctica on the World Time Zone maps by the United States Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, or the United Kingdom's His Majesty's Nautical Almanac Office, HMNAO. No international organization, nor any treaty between nations, has fixed the IDL drawn by cartographers. The 1884 International Meridian Conference explicitly refused to propose or agree to any time zones, stating that they were outside its purview. The conference resolved that the Universal Day, Midnight to Midnight Coordinated Universal Time or UTC, which it did agree to, shall not interfere with the use of local or standard time where desirable. What about Navy and cruise ships? In theory, ships are supposed to adopt the standard time of a country if they are within its territorial waters within 12 nautical miles of land, then revert to international time zones as soon as they leave. In practice, ships use these time zones only for radio communication and similar purposes. For internal, within-ship purposes, such as work and meal hours, ships use a time zone of their own choosing. Coordinated Universal Time or UTC divides time into days, hours, minutes, and seconds. Days are identified using the Gregorian calendar. Each day contains 24 hours and each hour contains 60 minutes. The number of seconds in a minute is usually 60, but with an occasional leap second, it may be 61 or 59 instead. The expectation from scientists was that the Earth's rotation would continue to slow, and positive leap seconds would be required more frequently. But an unexpected change in the trend of the UT1 to UTC values was seen beginning around June 2019. Instead of slowing down, the Earth's rotation has sped up, causing this difference to increase. If the trend continues, a negative leap second may be required, which has not been used before. This may not be needed until 2025. As you can see, this is a very unstable and unreliable timekeeping system. But how does any of this affect the Sabbath day? Countries have been known to switch sides of the international dateline for various reasons. Some examples are known as Alaska Day. The United States purchased Russian America and moved the territory to the east side of the international dateline. The transfer ceremony took place at 3:30 p.m. local mean time in the capital of New Archangel or Sitka, on Saturday, October 7, 1867, Julian, which was Saturday, October 19, 1867, Gregorian, in Europe. Also, in 2011, Samoa shifted back to the west side of the IDL by removing Friday, December 30, 2011 from its calendar. Samoa made the change because Australia and New Zealand have become its biggest trading partners, and also have large communities of expatriates. Being 21 hours behind made business difficult because having weekends on backward days meant only 4 days of the week were shared workdays. The IDL now passes between Samoa and American Samoa, which remains on the East, American, side of the line. So, now what does this tell us? A problem arises in certain Christian churches that solemnly observe a Sabbath day as a particular day of the week, when those churches are located in countries near the dateline. Notwithstanding the difference in dates, the same sunrise happened over American Samoa as happens over Samoa a few minutes later, and the same sunset happens over Samoa as happened over American Samoa a few minutes earlier. In other words, the secular days are legally different but they are physically the same. And that causes questions to arise under religious law. Because the dateline was an arbitrary imposition, the question can arise as to which Saturday on either side of the dateline, or, more fundamentally, on either side of 180 degrees longitude, is the real Saturday. This issue, which also arises in Judaism, is a particular problem for Seventh-day Adventists, Seventh-day Baptists, and similar churches located in countries near the dateline. In Tonga, Seventh-day Adventists, who usually observe Saturday, the seventh-day Sabbath, observe Sunday due to their understanding of the international dateline, as Tonga lies east of the 180 degrees meridian. Sunday as observed in Tonga, west of the dateline, as with Kiribati, Samoa, and parts of Fiji and Tuvalu, is considered by the Seventh-day Adventist Church to be the same day as Saturday observed east of the dateline. Most Seventh-day Adventists in Samoa plan to observe Sabbath on Sunday after Samoa's crossing the dateline in December 2011, but SDA groups in Samatau Village and other places decided to accept the IDL adjustment and observe the Sabbath on Saturday. Debate continues within the Seventh-day Adventist community in the Pacific as to which day is really the seventh-day Sabbath. Residents of the Jewish communities of Japan, New Zealand, Hawaii, and French Polynesia all observe Shabbat on local Saturday. However, there is not unanimity as to how Jewish law reaches that conclusion. For this reason, some authorities rule that certain aspects of Sabbath observance are required on Sunday, in Japan and New Zealand, or Friday, in Hawaii and French Polynesia, in addition to Saturday. Additionally, there are differences of opinion as to which day or days individual Jews traveling in the Pacific region away from established Jewish communities should observe Shabbat. The Islamic calendar and Muslim communities recognize the convention of the IDL. In particular, the day for holding the Jumu'ah prayer appears to be local Friday everywhere in the world. The IDL is not a factor in the start and end of Islamic lunar months. These depend solely on sighting the new crescent moon. As an example, the fasts of the month of Ramadan begin the morning after the crescent is sighted. These examples represent why trying to establish dates and times according to the Julian, Gregorian or any other man-made factor of scheduling dates or time will always be wrong and inaccurate. We are to simply look up. The only true factor that can be used is heavenly calendar that the Most High has provided. When man tries to cut corners and create his own version of time, it never works and it never will.